You ever watch Darth Vader walk into a room and think, this man isn't just a villain, he's serving? Like, I'm sorry, but nobody chokes a man mid-sentence and then just keeps talking, unless they've got flair. Vader didn't just kill people, he curated it. Like an evil art gallery with a dress code and a nonsense attitude. And you better believe he was the main exhibit. There's a reason he never runs. He glides, cape swinging, boots clicking, full runway realness through a spaceship hallway. Everyone else is panicking and ducking behind consoles, while Vader's just out here giving us the Empire's full winter collection. Even the way he breathes is dramatic. You know how extra you have to be to make breathing a whole mood. And don't even get me started on the one-liners. Apology accepted. The ability to destroy a planet is insignificant. I find your lack of faith disturbing. These aren't just threats. They're roasts. This man is out here doing a tight 5 on Imperial leadership, while casually crushing windpipes like it's open mic night at the Death Star. Vader doesn't just command a fleet, he claps back. But what makes it wild is that nobody around him acknowledges any of it. Like they're too scared to say what we're all thinking, that Darth Vader is the most dramatic diva in the galaxy. You're telling me not one Imperial officer leaned over and whispered, why is he slaying so hard right now? They just die quietly and miss the performance of a lifetime. And deep down, you know where it comes from. It's not just evil for evil's sake. It's pain dressed in leather and polished to a shine. The sass isn't just style, it's survival. It's a guy who lost everything and decided if he's going down, he's doing it with presence. Because if you're going to rule through fear, might as well look fabulous doing it. In this video, we're diving deep into the shade, the snark, the swagger, and the sadness of Darth Vader. We'll break down the most savage moments, the quietest pain, and why, under all that armor, Vader wasn't just a Sith Lord. He was a sassy queen with a tragic soul and an entrance that could end wars. You ever rewatch the original trilogy and realize Darth Vader wasn't just terrifying, he was theatrical. Like, not just evil overlord theatrical. I mean full-on drag runway levels of dramatic energy. The cape swish, the heavy breathing, the dramatic pauses before he drops a one-liner that just ends a man's career. He's less military commander and more the Empire's shade-throwing icon. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let's start with the entrance in A New Hope. That door explodes, stormtroopers blast everyone in sight, smoke clears, and then he walks in, not runs, walks. Hands on belt, head tilted like he's about to judge a fashion show. He doesn't need to yell or swing a saber, because his energy alone tells everyone who's in charge. It's not just intimidation, it's confidence with a capital serve. And then the dialogue hits. Remember when he says, I find your lack of faith disturbing? And just casually force jokes a dude at the conference table like he's bored at a staff meeting? That wasn't just a threat. That was a power move with flair. He doesn't argue or shout. He makes a statement, with just his voice and a pinch of fingers. He's the type to ruin your life with style. Even when he gets sassy with Tarkin, who technically outranks him, he does it with this quiet venom that says, you're lucky I don't vaporize you right now. Tarkin tells him to release a guy, and Vader obeys. But with that, as you wish, that just drips with sarcasm. He's not a mindless enforcer, he's a master of tone. Which is even funnier because it's James L. Jones making everything sound classy, while Vader's being peak petty. The more you think about it, the more you start noticing all the diva energy Vader gives off in every scene. He doesn't just command respect, he demands it with flair. He's not the muscle of the Empire, he's the drama, the camp, the attitude. And today we're going to break down how Darth Vader managed to be the most fabulous thing in a galaxy full of weird aliens and gold robots. What's wild is how nobody in universe seems to acknowledge it. They're all walking on eggshells around Vader like he's some terrifying force of nature. Which, okay, fair. But not one person says, wow, this guy's got flair. Instead, they act like his clapbacks aren't hilarious. Like the man doesn't serve a roast every 5 minutes with a side of force joke. The Imperial officers especially. They keep underestimating him, even after he's killed their co-workers with a literal hand gesture. And that's where the frustration kicks in. Not because Vader doesn't get credit for being scary, but because he doesn't get credit for being stylish while doing it. You don't wear a flowing cape and leather suit in a spaceship if you don't want to make an entrance. But here's the sad twist. Under all that sass, under the armor and the comebacks and the calculated power moves, is someone who used to be a deeply emotional and expressive person. And the way Anakin Skywalker disappeared into Darth Vader, it almost feels like the only part of his old personality that survived was the drama. You look at the prequels, and Anakin was chaotic, emotional, raw, he whined, he ranted. He threw shade at Obi-Wan like it was his job. But when he became Vader, it all got channeled inward, smoothed out into something cold and cruel. But every time he zings an officer or chokes someone mid-sentence, it feels like a little piece of Anakin is still in there. like he never stopped being the moody teen with something to prove. That's what makes his sass hit so different. It's not just style, it's pain turned into power. It's someone who lost everything and now performs control because feeling would break him. And maybe that's why he clings to the theatrics, because it gives him a sense of identity when everything else has been stripped away. Even the way he speaks, always slow, precise, and dramatic. It's like he's trying to control every word so it doesn't slip into something vulnerable. He doesn't just talk, he delivers lines like they're rehearsed, like he can't afford to show a single crack. And somehow, that makes him even more human. So yeah, the sass is funny, the outfits are iconic, the entrances are legendary. But underneath it all, Vader is what happens when someone builds a suit of style and snark to hide the fact that they're still bleeding inside. Still, you got to admire the commitment. Darth Vader is not just a villain, he's a one-man performance art piece. He never slouches, never stumbles. Every move is measured, every line delivered like a Shakespearean monologue. The man turned being evil into a stage presence, and nobody's done it better since. The hallway scene in Rogue One may be the most brutal thing he's ever done, but it's also the most cinematic. He lights up the saber in the dark like he's unveiling the main event, slices through rebels like a ballet of destruction, and doesn't say a single word, because he doesn't need to. The silence is the point. It's his final act, and it brings the house down. Even with all the darkness, all the fear, all the strut and sarcasm, there's still hope in Vader's story, because buried inside the sassiest Sith in the galaxy is a man who still feels, still regrets, still remembers what it was like to be good. You catch glimpses of it in the way he talks to Luke. Not just what he says, but how he says it. There's hesitation, almost softness, and when Luke refuses to fight him, Vader doesn't lash out like he does with everyone else. He pauses, and for once, he's not in control of the room. That moment on Endor, when Luke says, "I can feel the good in you," and Vader just says, "It is too late for me." It's not sass anymore, it's sadness. Masked by a man who's performed strength for so long he doesn't know how to do anything else. But you can feel it. He wants to believe. And when he finally turns on the Emperor, it's not just redemption, it's rebellion against the character he's been playing. He's not Darth Vader in that moment. He's Anakin. No cape, no pose. Just a father trying to save his son. And it's weirdly poetic that this giant of style and menace goes out not with flair, but with honesty. It gives his whole arc this unexpected depth, because yeah, we love Vader for being extra, for slaying with every entrance, for serving looks and snark. But in the end, we love him because beneath all that, he still had the courage to be human again. And that's what makes Darth Vader such a beautifully tragic character. He built this entire identity, this towering, stylish monster to bury who he used to be. And in the end, it was that forgotten self that saved him. All the sass, all the drama. It was never just for show. It was armor, not just for his body, but for his soul. He wasn't just feared because of what he did. He was feared because of how he made you feel. Like you weren't just being judged, you were being annihilated with elegance. That's a rare kind of power, and a rare kind of loneliness too, because no one really saw him, not as a man, just as a mask. And that's the irony, the very thing that made him iconic. The style, the precision, the presence, was also the thing that kept people from seeing who he really was. He wasn't just a sassy queen, he was a prisoner in a costume he couldn't take off, and every moment of flair was a cry to be remembered. But somehow, through all of that, he did get remembered. Not just as a villain, but as a legend, a symbol. A man who wielded power with drama and died with grace. His legacy isn't just destruction, it's performance, and pain, and ultimately, redemption. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy my videos, please consider looking at my pinned comment and checking out the links for my Amazon storefront. It contains my favorite Legos, my gear in which I make videos, and comics that I read on a daily basis. I update it constantly, so please, take a moment and click on the link. On top of that, check out my second channel, Critical Analysis Hub Plus, and my third channel, Critical Analysis Hub XP. Just one click would go on a long way in supporting my channels and future in YouTube.